Hello there, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back, and as always thank you for the support you guys have been giving me. Really do appreciate that. So today I'm going to be coming in with this Hunkydory kit. I had hoped that my other new kit would be here. It's been on order since the end of last month, but I think it's gone missing in the post, but they say I've got to wait another 8 days. So I did have this other kit here. The only reason I didn't want to use this one yet is just because it is quite similar to the book that I've got, in that it's animals, but I'm going to pick a different animal. Hopefully you know, it'll give you an idea, and you can transfer that onto different kits anyway. So this is the Animal Kingdom second season. If you are looking to buy this kit under the Black Friday deal, I think it's something like $8.99, so a lot cheaper than I paid for it. So you do get 2 of every topper, backing sheet and foiling. So we've got the tigers, the owls, the penguins and the wolves, and you've got the beautiful foiling on here, and there's another one after that, which is this one. So that's the one that's just printed, not foiled. I say just printed, it is still gorgeous. So just come out a little bit there and you'll be able to see. Sorry, let your eyes go a bit funny. Then we've got these beautiful otters, which is what I'm going to be using today. My favourite, the orca, these gorgeous little seahorses and the puffins. And then you've got this foiled leafing along those otters, and we've got the puffins, the squirrel with the birds, foxes, the raccoons, the deer and the bear, that little raccoon family there, and then the squirrel with the birds. I love this leafing. We've got our polar bear in sort of an ice crystal, the bears, the wolves, all these little toppers and sentiments. And you've got the bears again, and the polar bears, so bears and polar bears. Okay, so let's just pop this one back into this packet and then we will get started. So this type of card, the first one that I'm doing is, I think it's called a pop-up card. It's quite similar to the box cards I make, so if you have copied any of my other cards, then you should find this one pretty easy. So I'm going to bring in my trimmer first of all. Let's just get the arm out, and I'm going to be cutting this. So I've got a white piece of multi-purpose. This was a A3 piece, so I'm going to cut this piece down to 11.5. I'm just going to let me just do that again, because that looks like it's moved to me. Right, let's just get those bits out of the way. What I'm going to do just before we do anything else is just to grab the fresh blade. Swap that out, because I was having problems before. So let's just put that one straight in. Okay, so I'm just going to go with that again. So 11.5, and the actual length that I'm going to do is 5. So I'm going to do 2 pieces at 5, so 5 by 11.5. So we can pop that one down for a second until we do the scoring and the assembling. So I'm going to start and do exactly the same on each. So 1/2 inch, 2 inch, so we've got half, 1.5 there, then to 3.5, so I've got another 1.5, and then to 5. Okay, so half, 2, 3.5, 5. Oops. And then again on this side, so half, 2, 3.5, 5. One out of the way for a second, and then what I'm going to do is just on these corners, just going to round them all off. Okay, so I'm just going to pick the non-shiny side, just go and burnish all of those creases down. So that's going to come together like so. And again. And again. And then what we'll do is we will glue these together. So I'm just going to start by assembling that crease first of all. Just grab my scissors. Okay. So a little bit of red liner tape on that edge. And while I'm here, I'll do the same on the other one. And we can give that burnish down. And I'm just going to come in with my all-purpose glue. If I can get it to open. Oops. Okay. If I peel that off gently. You just fold that down, and that's going to be exactly where I want it to be. So let me just get that in the right place. I know I'm doing the right fold. So basically you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 big folds, and so you can just try and get that eyeballed up. I just find it's easier if you just fold it down so that you've got the tab fitting down flat there. You've got one crease line here. When you assemble it, it will automatically be in the right place, so it will be lovely and square. So I'm just peeling that back off again. Another little bit of all-purpose glue, and then straight down, and then we've got our 2 pieces. Okay, so what we need to do now is to pop these back to back. So again with the red liner tape. Now if you wanted to, you could just use your PVA or your all-purpose and just peg it, give it a couple of minutes to stick. Just because I'm doing this on the video, I'm just going to put some tape on and then some all-purpose as well. So my tape will hold it in position while my all-purpose is sticking. And the all-purpose is perfect for this because obviously both these sides are a porous material, and when it sets, it will set like concrete and give it that lovely rigidity, which is going to make it stand really proud on a mantelpiece or shelf, wherever it's going to be displayed. And then I'm just going to go corner to corner, put that on, give that a good press down. And you do need to make sure that you do glue right down to the bottom, just to give that lovely bit of rigidity. And then that will stand, if I do my burnishes down again, will stand nicely. Okay, did earlier anyway, so yeah, it is standing. It's just because it's gluing. Okay, so this piece here, so I am going to decorate all 4 of these sides, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then also here I am going to leave the back plain because although I haven't got the inserts for this yet, I will put an insert on the back, so there will still be a place to write. Okay, so we can come in with our board, and then I'm just going to grab a little bit of mirror card, and we'll start off with these pieces here, which are 1.5 by 5, so I can cut that 2 notches under 1.5, and then cut that down to 2 notches under the 5. And of course I do need 4 of those, so let's do all the 1.5s first. Then trim those all to 2 notches under the 5. All of those, and then this piece here is going to be the 5, and hopefully it should be around about 5. Yeah, so it's 5 by 5, so I can come in and go 2 notches under the 5 and 2 notches under the 5, and I'm also just going to bring in my corner rounder, just because if I don't do it now I will forget. Okay, so that's going to fit on there perfectly. Okay, and then we're going to come to this cardstock. Okay, so ideally I want to save these otters for another card. Okay, so I'm going to come in at 4 notches under the 5 there, and 1, 2, 3, 4 notches under the 5 there, and this should be our piece that will go on there. Let's go ahead and round those corners. There we go, so I've got that bit there, it's going to fit nicely there. Okay, and then this bit, so we should be able to cut this to 1 1/4, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, so 1 1/4, 4 notches under the 1.5. Make sure I get that straight. So I've got 2 out of there, that one's going to be too narrow. And then I'm just going to come across here to 1 1/4. Let's see what we get out of here. That's that one. And then we just need 1 more. Whichever way I do it, I'm going to lose a little bit of tiny bit of foil. Oh no, we just missed it, so that's perfect. And if you have any of the pads or anything like that, you could use that in there rather than waste all the nice cardstock. Okay, and then I'm going to bring my topper in. I'm just going to pop them out nice and gently. Here we go. That's that one. And let's see, what should we do? Guessing we're going to have to use this one because it's got the otters on. It's nice and long, so it's going to go quite nicely along there. It's together is the best place to be. Okay, so let's pop those over there. We can start assembling. So I am going to be using my all-purpose glue even on my mirror card. Just be aware it can ruin finishes on Miri, so make sure you don't get anywhere near the edge if you're going to use it. And also it isn't, they don't recommend it as the best glue for non-porous surfaces. However, having said that, I've used it for quite a while and I've not had anything come apart yet. So, you know, it's use whatever glues you're comfortable with. You know, there's a myriad of options out there, and obviously I did see from my sort of my channel, there's people that view from America, so I don't know whether all of the glues that I use will be available there. So, but you guys have, you know, you're experienced crafters, most of you, so you will know what glues you've got around you. So I'm just going to pop those onto there, and I'm leaving these edges square just to give that little point of difference between the topper and the these bits. So because they're already quite square, that's why I'm keeping them square, okay, if you know what I mean. So I'm just going to go in again with backing. It doesn't matter which way up it is at the moment, that's only going to come into play once we start sticking things onto the back. Okay, so let's get these on our card. So again, coming in with my all-purpose, popping that onto there. And this card, I think I saw something similar on, I think where I got the idea from, I think it might have been Create and Craft. Could have been Hobby Maker, but I think it actually was Create and Craft. And what the person did was they had dies to do this basically, and instead of having this long piece, there was a tab, and then they had a die with a shape on. So what you could do is, you know, if you've got an oval shape, you could cut that, you know, cut that into there. If there's like the door shape, sort of archway, that's the word I'm looking for. You know, you can do all of those sort of shapes on this type of card. So it is quite a nice shape to have in your arsenal for if you want something a little bit different. And like I say, you don't have to decorate both sides, you can sort of just put an insert on the back, which is what I'm going to do, because at the end of the day, you know, most cards will only ever be displayed one way on a shelf. So I'm just popping those on nice and straight. So that's where we're up to at the moment. And also, you know, looking at it just as I've assembled it there, it does look a bit Art Deco. If you went into some triangular shape from there, you know, you could have your Art Deco, you know, there's the Art Deco kit. I don't particularly like Art Deco, have to be honest, but I do have friends that do, so I have had the odd kit. But you know, that sort of, if you went into a sort of triangular shape from here, or you know, put some angles in, that would, you know, really nicely suit this card. Okay, so I'm just going to pop this frame out. Okay, just pop in, just because I want to see how I'm going to have that on this card, which way up. So ideally I would like some of that foiling to come through. So if I do it whichever way I do it, I'm not going to see too much of it, I don't think. Just going to draw the eye best, I think that way. Okay, so I'm just going to put my glue on, and we'll pop this onto here. This flatten down, and I can keep that flat for the moment. I think gonna have to be see, depends on how you want to post this, okay, on your layers. If you wanted to post it like that, then I would keep your layers quite thin, because you know, obviously that will impact the thickness. I mean, that you could get away with a small envelope, boxelope. But if you are going to post it like that, folded that way, then obviously you can get away with a bit of height. Okay, so I am obviously going to use the height because it's my favourite thing. And I think I'll probably do my usual trick, one high, one low, and then one a little higher in the middle. Okay, so I'm just going to grab myself some foam pads. Let's see, so I want some Crafter's Companion ones because that is the thickest one that I have. Just seeing if I've got any straw bits left, and I don't think I have. Let's see. No, so I'll have to do these squares. Sorry, my chair is super squeaky. I think these are the same size. Yeah, the same. What I'm going to do is, if I bring in my knife, I can just cut these into some slivers, and then hopefully those should fit nicely within those borders if I've cut them right. You can cut as many as you need. I do tend to put quite a few foam pads on, but it's like everything. You feel comfortable with one in each corner, then there's no reason why you shouldn't just put one in each corner. There's no rules in crafting. Well, there's only one rule in crafting, and that's don't use your ink pad appropriate to what you're colouring in. That's probably the only rule, but that's only for your own good. Everything else is just do what you do, you know, what works for you. Let's have a look. How's that? Yeah, that's coming on. That's all right. So I'm just going to whip these backs off. And I was just watching Hunkydory today and yesterday, so they've got their goodie boxes back, so I love the goodie boxes, I really do. Well, we always get a couple because Mum likes them for her birthday and Christmas, so her birthday's in April, just before Easter, so it works out perfectly. Yeah, so we do like the goodie boxes. And the cool thing about the goodie boxes, I think, is that obviously you get a kit and you get other bits and pieces, but usually you get some gems, you get at least one sort of method of gluing things, either glue dots. Last time we got quite a few foam pads because she had 3 boxes. Yeah, so it's sort of you pretty much can sort of start a project from those boxes, and you probably do need a bit of either PVA glue or all-purpose, whichever is your normal glue, and something to cut with. But then even that, saying that, you know, because these cards really, or these sets, they were designed so that you could just take your backing sheet, fold it in half and pop a topper on it. I don't use them that way. I don't think I've ever used them that way, but you know, that's how they were designed. That's why each kit will always say you can make at least 16 cards, because you know, obviously you get the 8 printed, the 16 printed and foiled backing sheets that you can fold in half. So technically you could just like really, most of those boxes, I would say you can just literally just open a pack, make a card, boom, done, you know. Okay, so these are the Crafter's Companion pads. They're probably about twice what the Hunkydory ones are, so I'm guessing they're probably about 3mm, maybe 4. I like these pads. They go well with the Hunkydory because you always need to have like a bit of variety on. Well, I always feel like you do. It's nice to be able to put things at different levels. There we go, so just a bit of glue on each of those. Again, just for a bit of wiggle time, and also... Oh, I've got glue on my mouth. Right, I'll sort that in a second. And then that's just going to pop inside, like so. So we've got our little otters there. Just grab tissue, just wipe that away for that ends up being a disaster. Okay, now I'm just going to put my lid on my glue. I'll pop that out of the way. Okay, so we have got our lovely sentiment, which I think I'm going to put on there with a foam pad, but a narrow one. So just want a bit of shadow behind it with the lift, but not so much that it's going to really affect the width of it if we needed to fold it down. There we go. We'll just bring that one back in. There we go. The hardest thing in crafting is getting that needle back in the bowl, with my eyesight anyway. Okay, so I'm just popping that on relatively straight, so that's how we're looking at the moment. Okay, so the next thing we want is going to be a couple of gems, and I've got a lovely couple of green ones there. So I think if I bring that back in, and I'm going to go in these corners, I think. So if I fold that down nice and flat, you should be able to see. So I'm going to go one there, one there, and actually if I go with the lighter green, oh, got the needle stuck to me, one there, and then I can have one in each corner. We want to be here, and these are quite nice chunky glittery ones. And I could have gone with the blue because we've got the blue in there, but I like these ones, so oops. One, there, one there. And obviously that glue will dry clear. Okay, so let me just see if it needs anything else. I'm just going to put just on this bit here, just to break that up a little bit. I'm just going to put those two big gems there as well, and they're a slightly different colour, so it's just going to add a bit of interest. If you wanted to put a ribbon there, you could do. Any of the other sentiments. Just glue away. There we go. So that's the finished side of it, and that's the front of it. Okay, so that's our first card. So I'm just going to clear things down, oops, sorry, and get ready for the next card. Okay, so for my other card, I toyed with the idea of doing one of the other toppers on there, but I didn't want to leave this little bit laying around. I'd rather use it up. I mean, look at that with the foiling and those otters. It's just simply too cute. I've been through my sentiment book, And I found this one with a green that's just slightly darker that says sisters are joined heart to heart, because it kind of looks like they're having a bit of a spa day, not gonna lie. So that's what I've decided to go with, because obviously it's always good to use up these bits, you know, considering, you know, I don't want it lying around being wasted. So brought in my trimmer, and I'm going to trim. So this is just a piece of A4 multi-purpose from Crafter's Companion, and I'm going to go 5 inches. Pop my arm out there. To 10. So I'm just making quite a simple 5 by 5 card. Actually, I'll leave that out a second, and just because we're going down the sister route, I'm going to bring in this glitter card. Okay, and this again is Hunkydory. So we're just going to go 2 notches under the 5, and 2 notches under the 5, and then I'm going to trim this one down to 1, 2, 3, 4 notches under the 5. Let me see. So let me take a little bit off there first. I'm going to try and keep as much of that gold as I can. So 1, 2, 3, 4 notches under the 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 notches under the 5 at the top. So that should fit onto there quite nicely, like so. Okay, so I'm going to pop that down for a second. Bring in my scoreboard, and then we can pop this score line in at the 5-inch mark. Just going to put that over and give that a burnish down, like so. Okay, so put that away. And I did toy with the idea of going round and cutting him out and popping the tag behind, but I just think it's going to hide that tag, so I came up with doing the idea of a couple of flags instead. So that's the route that I'm going to go down. Okay, so I am going to start just with a bit of all-purpose on the back of this glitter card, and we'll pop that straight onto our little card blank. Okay, and then because it is that glitter card, I'm not going to attempt to use the all-purpose on it. Just going to come straight in with my tacky glue, so all the way around. And then we're going to pop that on. Just does give us a little bit of a minute just to adjust things, but there we go. So that's where we're at. Okay, so bringing back in these toppers, I've got a border here, so I'm just going to pop that out. Knife down the inside just to release those pips, and that should come out for me. There we go. I think the other thing I'm going to do as well, just for my second little flag, just grab my trimmer the right way around. I'm just going to take, let's go this way. Just going to move my blade up. Just going to take a narrow little strip out there of this dark green. trim her back. So let's have a look. So I was thinking that I might use this border. And we can either have the flags going down, we can have them going across. Be that way up, I think. Let's have a look with, I think that. Okay, let's trim that nice and straight on the edge. I think I'm going to come across this way, and I want to be to about there. So if I grab my scissors, and I'm just going to cut that out at that angle there. So that's going to go there, and then we've got a nice flat edge there. And this is going to go on top, but I am going to mount it on some glitter as well, just to bring that glitter back in. So we've got the gold foil, gold mirror, and then we've got the gold. Let's just go a little narrower on there, and then I grab this as a piece of gold. Let's see. So I just want the narrowest of borders. Let's try that. Yeah, I think that's perfect. Take that across like so. Now I'm thinking, does that need it? And I think no. Okay, because then we're going to have our tag and a little bit of ribbon as well. Okay. So since we've got the PVA out, we'll just go ahead with that one. And we'll pop that going across like so. And I am coming over the glitter card there on that edge on purpose. And then I'm going to pop PVA on the back of here. Pop that in the centre of there. And then if I grab one of these Hunkydory. Oops. Oh, there's a bit there as well, I think. Not going to be too long. Let's cut that in half. And there, just make sure that hasn't moved. A bit of tacky glue. And then we're just going to come over the top of that like so. Okay, and then I have got some dark green ribbon here, which is the closest I have got to this tag, and I know it's not the right green. Just looking over, I don't think any of the blues. Bear with me 1 second, let me just check and see if there's a light blue, and we can try that instead. Okay, so it seems I've got two. I've got a pale green, I've got pale blue. I think I'll go for the pale green. Okay, so I'm just going to come in with my bone maker and just make a nice little bow with that one. Nice and tight. Just going to come try and trim these. I want to go that way. And just make sure you've got some nice, quite nice sharp scissors before you do that, otherwise it messes up your ribbon something chronic. Okay. So now I'm going to come in with this little tag. Let's see where we're going to put that. I actually think I'm going to put it over those. So if I bring in this foam pad here, is that going to be enough? No, I need to go double. So let's just grab that other one there. Yeah, that's it. So another bit of glue under there. And if I turn that round, actually no, if I do it this way I'll make sure it's straight. There we go, so we've got our sisters are joined heart to heart. And then the last thing I need is going to be some glue to pop this ribbon on with. So I'm going to bring in my cloud glue. Wipe my hands a little bit there. Okay. And I'm just going to put a nice little blob on that hole. Pop a cute bow in. And then if I bring back the last of these gems, let's see what we got. So they're all kind of blue. So we could go with these light blue ones. I think they're going to look quite nice. So I'm just going to do 1, 2, 3. Okay, and I'm going to come in with these greeny blue ones. So, oops, that one's gone. Just put that one onto there. One above it, and then I'm just going to come in with this one on that side. It decides it wants to stick on it rather to me. I've got sticky fingers. Come on. There we go. So that's that one finished. Okay, so just a little bit cleaner, so just wipe that away on there. So all that needs now is a nice little insert. So those are the 2 cards that we've done today from that kit. I'll just bring that one back in so that you can see that. Pop that one under there. So next time, next video is going to be a Crafter's Companion one. I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do in that video yet. I did see a technique on Facebook that I wanted to try with that poinsettia embossing folder that I had from before. So there is a good chance if it works out that I will do a little demo with that, because it is pretty amazing. That's if it turns out like I want it to. If not, it could be something else. There's plenty here to choose from. If there's anything that you want to see again, either Hunkydory or Crafter's Companion, then just drop us a little comment in. I can't promise that I'll do it straight away, but I definitely will come up with another way of using it in the very near future. Okay, well, thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye.